Shut up. Hangout is live. Konnichiwa, bitches. Welcome to the Nusca edition of the Ultimate Advanced League podcast. This is the commish, Doug. Joining me, as always, is Connor Hemming. Connor, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
And we have a special guest today, Joe Nusca, the neckbeard himself. How are you, Joe?
I'm pretty dandy, thank you.
All
Pleasure
right.
to be here. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you, Joe. We have some news to go through, and then we have a mock draft. So, Connor, I believe there was really only one news story we wanted to touch on. We can answer some of these questions, then we can get right into the mock.
Yeah, and that was Melvin Gordon potentially holding out or being traded, depending on if they can come up with the money he wants, which might be something they don't want to do.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they have Austin Eckler. They have Justin Jackson, who played well for them last year, and they seem to be pretty high on. Do we think they do pay them, Joe? Are the Chargers going to pay Melvin Gordon, and should they?
I just found out about this news, but I think they'll pay him. I think they'll end up paying up. I can see him wearing a Chargers jersey next season.
I can see that as well. Connor, if for some reason Melvin Gordon is not on the Chargers week one, whether it's because he's holding out or they traded him or what have you, how do you evaluate Austin Eckler and Justin Jackson?
I think for Eckler, it pretty much stays the same. I think he's very like Tariq Cohen, and we could see Justin Jackson actually stepping up and getting a more bulk of the carries, kind of like Montgomery would in Chicago or Davis, depending on how that situation works out. But I feel like we're going to see – I think Eckler has what he has, and they're going to use him the way they've utilized him with Gordon. And I could see Justin Jackson stepping up and getting a lot of carries.
Sure. Joe, if you're who's it? Bugby that owns Melvin Gordon. If you're Bugby, are you worried, or are you just, or not yet?
Not yet. I mean, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, but hoping for the best, preparing for the worst, you know?
For sure. Connor, anything else you want to touch on before we get into these questions?
Yeah, I want to see Joe show off his champagne. Where's the champagne, Joe?
I forgot it.
What do you have to shake tonight?
Got a nice coffee. Can shake that around. Hope I don't spill it, though. It'll stain.
I have a LaCroix. So.
Joe Nusca does not disappoint. Everyone.
Is that the blackberry cucumber?
No, this is pineapple strawberry.
Oh, I haven't tried that one yet.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Should try the blackberry cucumber.
I will have to do that.
Are we on The View or are we doing a football podcast here?
Yeah. Okay, what are you drinking, Connor?
Yeah, kind of want to tell everybody?
Let's not worry about that.
All right.
Joe, first question comes in for you. What was going through your mind when you drafted Baker Mayfield, a rookie quarterback, in the 4th round last year?
What was going through my mind? Honestly, I think I just wanted to try to come up on a good rookie quarterback. So I kind of just weighed the risk. I knew he wasn't going to be there probably by the next round. So I just took him. You know, it paid off last year. He did pretty well, and he's got a lot of upside this year. They added Beckham. So 4th round, I don't think it's a bad value for him.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson. Joe's got one of the better quarterback situations in the league, maybe the best quarterback situation in the league, maybe this side of Bugby. Connor, do you think it was too early for him to take him there last year?
It crossed my mind. I think it's really worked out. But I think the reason why I brought up the question in the first place is it wasn't something people were expecting, and it was too early. Maybe even with how good he is, still too early. I guess my reasoning for the question was more, do you think it pays off when a person drafts with that kind of style? It seems to have worked out for you there. Is that something that you thought about and you thought, man, this is a risk? Or are you just saying, this is who I want and I'm going to take him and that's how I want to roll?
A little bit of both, honestly. I was pretty high on Mayfield coming into the season or last season. But like I said, I didn't think he was going to be – I didn't know how much longer he was going to be there. I know how we draft in our league. It's kind of really random at times. You never know who's going to get off the board a couple rounds earlier than they should. So just took a chance. I wouldn't recommend it always. I think it's really got to be someone that you're invested in, someone that you've done a little bit of research on. You think that might pay off, but
yeah, more. Another question comes in for pretty much everybody. Who would be the best bet for a rookie wide receiver? I guess we'll each answer this. Connor, first of all, I guess we have to. What does the best bet mean in terms of who's going to be the best in 2019? I guess we'll say that among rookie wide receivers.
That's what I feel like I would go with.
I
think in terms of assurance and I feel like right now it could actually be DK Metcalf just because Baldwin is gone and we know he's going to be in the starting lineup week to week. There isn't a lot of guys necessarily in situations where they're the immediate starters. Like Paris Campbell's a great player, but he's got T.Y. Hilton and, Funchess there. A lot of people have a lot of competition. In his case, Lockett isn't someone that can be on the field all the time. He's injury prone. He's small. He's not your, bona fide wide receiver one. So I think if anybody can step into that immediately and be, whether good or bad, get the volume, it could be DK Metcalf. N'Keal Harry is also a guy that has a lot of upside because he could be taking over for a lot of the tight end targets that Gronk had gotten. I would say those are two guys probably towards the top of the list.
Sure. Joe, who's your best bet rookie wide receiver for 2019?
Well, I'm going to sound like I'm copying Connor here, but honestly, if you'd asked me a couple of weeks ago before Baldwin retired, probably would have been N'Keal Harry. Big receiver. He's actually, I just read that that's the first wide receiver that Belichick's drafted in the first round ever. So they definitely put a lot of stock in him then, But now with Baldwin retiring, I think DK Metcalf's definitely an interesting look. Really big receiver, and I know he gets a lot of shit for his route running, and some of it he doesn't really have like the his talent isn't so kind of like honed in yet. But he's got a lot of big upside plays. I think he's going to be a good touchdown threat.
Sure.
We were right, Doug. He is going to take DK.
Yeah, that's true. Mine is a little bit off the board here. I'm going to go with Andy Isabella from the Cardinals. I think he's got a really simple path to playing time. There aren't a lot of field stretchers on that Arizona team, and Kyler Murray's got a big arm, and I think he'll find him for a couple long touchdowns, which will mean he'll have a few nice weeks, which might be more than any other rookie wide receiver. Special mention to my man Hollywood Brown as well. He'll have, they'll both be kind of Deshaun Jackson type receivers. And,
sure.
That's the type of receiver that can be good in fantasy for a rookie because you're going to use him as a spot start when your other guys are on bye anyway. And if they can hit big those weeks, that's what's going to make them valuable.
And I know Steve says no news has happened since the last time we did a mock, but I've heard reports that Hakeem Butler is actually struggling quite a bit in Arizona, and Isabella seems pretty clear-cut to be one of the starters from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I also heard good reports about the other rookie receiver they have there, Keyshawn Johnson. So, no religion. So why don't we go ahead and get this mock started. I'll turn on the old screen share, present it to everyone so everyone can see. And you're greeted with the draft board. So we'll go team by team here, and we'll just rotate how we're drafting them. Joe, Kevin comes up on the clock with that. Greeted with the draft board. So we'll go, somebody mute that.
That was my
bad. Joe's already screwing up. Here we go.
All right, so first pick.
Your first pick for Kevin. Are you watching the podcast? What are you doing?
Yeah, I had it on in the background. But
why?
He wants to see how good his neck beard looks.
True. I was just trying to get an outsider's perspective. But all right, so first pick in the draft, I think it still stays Josh Jacobs. I was a little worried, I'm not going to lie, when the news came out that he was going to be holding out on his contract, but it sounds like it settled pretty quickly. I thought he was going to be a little bit of a diva, but I think he's still a safe bet.
All right, Connor, you're on the clock for the Petersburg Penguins, picking at number 2.
And I think I'm still going to go with Philip Lindsay here. I know your brother seemed very high on him from what I've heard him say about Philip Lindsay. I know he's coming back from an injury, which causes a little bit of concern, but your brother wants a running back with a name, and he wants one that he can plug in a starting lineup and feel good about. I think he'll go with Philip Lindsay.
And not for nothing, he is a young player, so it's not the worst in the world. Alex is going to come up here at number 5 overall, but number 3 in the draft, and I think he's going to hear some of the hype that Andy Reid's been putting out there about Damian Williams. He came out again and said that he's the starter, and I think Alex is going to hear some of that, knowing that Chiefs offense is as good as it is, and he's going to take Damian Williams with that first round pick. Pat comes up on the clock for Joe.
For Pat, I think it's still going to be David Montgomery. I know Pat likes his rookies. I think David Montgomery's a pretty solid pick there.
Joe just studied what we picked last mock, and he's like, all right, I can't look stupid.
He's got it up on his other screen.
It's like, shit, what did they say for this round?
So, Connor, you are on the clock for me here at number 5. What am I going to do?
I think you're disappointed that Damian Williams got a lot of talk and has started to go up the draft board. But you're going to be a little happy that Leonard Fournette, even though he's a huge risk and not really the most attractive player, the fact that he's there for you at 5, I think will be enough to really pique your interest, and I think you'll take Fournette there.
Leonard Fournette. So that's the end of the first round. Josh Jacobs, Philip Lindsay, Damian Williams, David Montgomery, and Leonard Fournette. Here in the second round, I have the first pick of this one. Joe, what am I going to do at number 6 overall?
All right, it might be a little early, but I mean, I think this is really going to shore up your wide receiver situation, especially with Tyreek Hill being so iffy. Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper, if I can spell.
I'm just going to steal him from your brother, Doug. That's just cold.
Yeah,
that's right. Amari Cooper
Doug.
is one of the better players in the draft, so that's not a terrible pick. I will be up here, I suppose, for Mr. Hemian of the Toad Point Trippers. Grabbed Josh Jacobs with his first pick, and I think he needs another running back. And I think he's going to grab himself some Chris Carson, which is a good pick for him here. Compton Cookie Snatchers. Connor.
I think Ray will want to go running back here while there still are some. And I think he's going to grab.
Is this board better, by the way? This view?
Yeah, I like it. It's very good. And I also like that it pops up the round after we finish. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and keep what I kept last time we did a mock. I think he's going to go with Rashard Penny here. I think he's going to see the upside, the youth. It's basically almost drafting a rookie. I think he sticks with that.
Great. Let's see here. Joe, you were on the clock for the Pain Train, who went with Damian Williams in the first round.
All right. Huh. Is it stupid to think that he might go with a quarterback? Because I think I can see him drafting Drew Brees here.
Drew Brees. I mean, we know that Alex likes to go with, proven commodities. He likes his quarterbacks. And getting Drew Brees here, along with Aaron Rodgers, that sets him up to be pretty good at the position.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, can you slurp your iced coffee a little louder next time?
Is it really loud? I just ran out, so.
I come up on the clock here for Tim. He grabbed Philip Lindsay with that first pick. He still desperately needs running back help. And I think he's going to hear some of this hype surrounding Darrell Henderson out of the Rams camp. And he's going to snag him with the 10th pick of the draft. Joe, you're on the clock for Connor.
What am I?
Kicker.
Get in my mind, Joe. What am I going to take here?
Oh, who fucking knows? This is 11th, right?
Yeah, 11th overall.
Damn it. I was looking ahead to draft for Carlo. I forgot that Connor can't draft for himself. All right. You said Darrell Henderson's off the board, right?
Yes, sir. He just went to Tim with the last pick.
Okay.
Joe's in a frenzy now because we didn't have the exact pick of the last spot. So
guys threw me off.
Now he's going to have to do some work.
Let's go with Lamar Miller.
Lamar Miller.
Would be good for my team, though. I do. Have
it would be actually a pretty good pick. I don't see you picking him in that situation, but I think that your running backs are looking really good
You
at that
don't see
point.
me. You don't see me picking it, but you picked it for me.
That's
That's
good.
why-
That is good value.
That's why I drafted him for you, Connor. You're welcome.
Connor, you're on the clock for Carlo here at number 12 overall.
And Carlo definitely still needs running back. Another year of needing running back, and I think he's going to be pretty upset at what he sees. But I think he needs immediate production and something secure. So I think he's going to go for a high-octane offense and take Latavius Murray here.
Latavius Murray. So in that second round, you had Amari Cooper, Chris Carson, Rashad Penny, Drew Brees, Darrell Henderson, Lamar Miller, and Latavius Murray all come off the board.
I'm going to try to remember that.
And I believe I am on the clock for Tim here. Philip Lindsay and Darrell Henderson were his first two picks. He's feeling himself a little bit here. I think he's going to grab himself another running back, and I think he's going to grab Philly rookie Miles Sanders. He says he apparently needs to work on his pass protection, but if he can get that going, I think he's a talented guy in a good offense. So that's the type of guy that Tim needs to start stacking on this roster. Joe, you were on the clock for these mates.
Okay. I'm going to go with Ronald Jones here.
Ronald Jones. What's your thinking behind him taking Ronald Jones?
I mean, there's a lot of upside there. He was pretty high up on everyone's, rankings last year. He kind of proved to be a dud. He's really talented, honestly. I think he's just got to get his shot. He's just got to get the carries there. And Peyton Barber's a pretty good running back, but I can kind of see him stepping into.
Is he though? Is he though?
I mean, he's not really, but like, shit. I mean, someone's got to run the ball.
Yeah.
Also, the way he runs, I'm shocked that. I mean, he hasn't been drafted yet, so we'll probably get a chance to talk to him again. But Peyton Barber is under 25. Like,
Is he really?
He's really young. I was kind of amazed.
Yeah, he just runs like Frank Gore. Connor, you're on the clock for Bugby and the Bean Bruisers.
Bugby.
All right. And I think he has to see the running backs going off the board. And I think he's going to have this kind of anxiety over the situation. He's going to take Royce Freeman here to shore up some of his running back situation, especially with the news about Melvin Gordon.
Not one of those picks you're overly excited to make, but he did look good at points last year, and Philip Lindsay's not 100% healthy, so not a terrible pick. I am on the clock for Team Man Bear Pig, Saquon Barkley, Duke Johnson, Austin Eckler. He's got a nice little squad going here. He is a little weak at tight end. It's a little too early to take any of those guys, so I think he's looking for a running back. Let's see who we got available. Anybody good? Not really. Jeez, who's available? Hold on, I have to bring up my available player sheet here. So, Connor, why don't you tell us a little bit more about Royce Freeman while I look this up?
Royce Freeman was a toted rookie last season. Philip Lindsay, although it was noted that he was somebody to look out for, it wasn't really – I don't think anybody was expecting what he put out as an undrafted rookie last season. Definitely got in the way of Royce Freeman. But, I mean, if the touchdowns can happen, he's still someone who could verge on being a running back one certain weeks. He's definitely not a slouch. And especially with Lindsay's injury history at this point now, as we see him potentially not even coming back full health necessarily to start the season, or at least be a little bit behind of everyone else. He could definitely have a strong first couple of games and build on that. He's definitely someone to gamble on. He's definitely a talent. I wouldn't say he's somebody. He's not like a Peyton Barber or a CJ Anderson kind of pick. He's still got youth and talent that could put him in a position to play very well in the future.
Sure. Speaking of Peyton Barber, I actually think this is where we see him come off the board. It's not a very exciting pick, but it's the kind of pick that a team like AJ's can make. Just get a nice, safe pick, a guy that you can use if something goes wrong with Duke Johnson. All right, Connor, you're on the clock for Joe.
Ooh, I get to make Joe's pick here.
Make me proud.
I got to add Joe's logo here.
I think Joe wants to shock people. I think he wants the new up-and-coming thing. And he needs a running back still to build on his depth. I think he's going to go ahead and he's going to take Kalen Ballage here.
Kalen Ballage. Talking to Jim, Jeff?
Apparently. Only reason I'd make a decision like that, I guess.
Hey, you gave me Lamar Miller, all right?
See some of these keepers coming off the board. Joe, you were on the clock for the UML champion, Steve.
Tyler Boyd.
Tyler Boyd. Steve could definitely use a receiver. Tyler Boyd is a very good one, and that is a good place for him to start. In that round, we saw Miles Sanders, Ronald Jones, Royce Freeman, Peyton Barber, Kalen Ballage, and the only non-running back to go in that round was the last pick, Tyler Boyd. Pretty good value there at the wide receiver position. Joe, go ahead and pick again for Steve with his second of two back-to-back picks.
Okay. This next person I'm going to go with because, he needs a quarterback. I don't think this guy's going to be there by the time he drafts again. So, Mr. Tom Brady.
Bomb Trady.
I think once he adds Tom Brady to his roster, if you were to add him here, really has some really good talent on his roster then.
Yeah, little inside baseball here. If you're in a situation like this, guys, when you have two back-to-back picks, always take the older player first and the younger player second. Take Tom Brady.
Joe.
Go Brady first and then Boyd.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Let's see here. I am on the clock for the total point trippers. You got Chris Carson and Josh Jacobs so far. And Kevin kind of needs a wide receiver. So who could he take? The best receivers available are Corey Davis, N'Keal Harry, Robbie Anderson. I don't know how he feels about Corey Davis, but I know how he feels about Robbie Anderson, or should feel. Robbie Anderson is a big play threat to go along with some of those PPR guys he's got. I think this is a great pick for Kevin here in the fourth round. Connor, you are up for Carlo, fourth round.
And yet again, Carlo does not need a wide receiver. So I think we've seen a real decline in the running backs available. He may choose to take another quarterback here. And do I do it? I think I'm going to do it for Carlo here.
You got to get that rushing production somehow.
Kyler Murray here. He's going to be the Joe of this year, going out and get that rookie.
Yeah. Taking a first overall drafted Oklahoma rookie quarterback in the fourth round. But honestly, it's a good pick for him. It has more upside than any of the running backs that are left at this point. So, and he needs a quarterback too.
And as much as Winston's this big, high potential player that everybody always raves about in the offseason, a lot of times during the regular season, he really lets you down certain weeks. So having a guy like this can really help that unit.
Absolutely. Joe, you were on the clock for my dad at the Rabbit College Rampage.
Okay. So he definitely needs some running backs still. He's pretty much good at wide receivers. But there's not a lot of good running backs left. I think it's worth to try to take a shot at Rashad Penny in this round.
Rashad Penny went in the second round.
Oh, he did?
Yep.
I guess that really would have been some
classic Nusca over here.
All right. Shut up, Connor. Right.
Is DeMarcus Ware still on the board?
Oh, he is? All right. Well, duh. Peyton Barber's gone as well, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go with Peyton Barber here.
What?
Peyton Barber?
He's gone too, Joe. Are you watching the podcast?
He's still watching the old one for ideas.
Okay. All right, just because I'm kind of at a width here. Gus Edwards.
Gus Edwards. Connor, what do you think about Gus Edwards this season? It's a really crowded backfield.
It's very crowded, and seeing what how they've treated their running backs in the past, he could very easily be gutted and be gone very quickly. At the same time, though, if he is to get the carries, it's definitely a run-heavy offense, and he could definitely be worth the pick.
For sure. I am up for AJ once again. He grabbed Peyton Barber with his last pick. He's got some good receivers with Jarvis Landry, Devontae Adams, and A.J. Green, Antonio Callaway. So I don't think he needs a receiver. He could use a tight end. But it's just a little early, I think, still. But you know what? No, it's not. Noah Fant is in an offense where he is going to get a lot of targets. And yes, fine. I don't know what's going on with the software, but Noah Fant, big play threat, the type of tight end that AJ needs. Connor, you are on the clock for Hansen here at the 4th round.
And, I mean, he needs everything. And with the state of the running backs gone, I think he's got to go wide receiver here just because he's at 0 right now. And I think he's going to go ahead and take that gamble on Corey Davis. It's a name he knows, whether it's good or not. He knows it, and I think that's something he would definitely go for. I think he'd be very happy to have him here.
That is okay as well, for what that's worth. Let's see, Joe, you're on the clock for Bugby here at the 4th round pick.
Okay. I think he goes with Adrian Peterson here, being a Redskins fan.
Adrian Peterson's a little early, but then again, there's not a whole lot of risk in taking an old player this early, so definitely a good option for Bugby there. All right, so that's going to end that round. So Tom Brady, Robbie Anderson, Kyler Murray was the first rookie quarterback off the board. Gus Edwards, Noah Fant, Corey Davis, Adrian Peterson, and for some reason it's showing Brandon Cooks and Mike Evans. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that, but they were both keepers, not drafted just there. I think Mike Evans goes here. There we go. All right, I am on the clock for my brother here, who grabbed Miles Sanders, Phillip Lindsay, and Darrell Henderson. He needs, honestly, he still needs running back help. There's just not the value at the position available right now. So I think Tim is going to have to reach a little bit in order to get what he needs. For a running back, I think he's going to take another shot on a player he's owned in the past, on Carlos Hyde. He's going to get some opportunities, I think, regardless of what Andy Reid says in Kansas City. And I think that'll be a good pick for Tim. Connor, you are on the clock for whoever has the next pick, which is Joe.
Oh, boy. Get to go again for Joe here.
Grabbed Kalen Ballage with his first pick.
I think he should feel semi-confident as running backs at this point. I think he needs a wide receiver desperately, which is good because there's still a lot of them. And I think he may kind of torn between two guys, one of which he's already drafted before, but now he can have it much lower in Gallup. But I think he's going to go with Kirk here.
Christian Kirk.
For the PPR value.
Definitely a good pick. A round sooner than he went last year, and everyone was groaning about it then. Definitely a good pick. Joe, you were on the clock for Carlo.
All right. We're in the 5th round, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's see.
Needs running backs.
I think he still needs running backs. But who to go with? I can see him kind of stepping up in the backfield this year like he did with the Rams going into the playoffs. I think he goes with C.J. Anderson here.
C.J. Anderson. Kerryon Johnson, we've seen get hurt, and we've seen C.J. Anderson play well for a couple different teams. I think C.J. Anderson could be a good pick for Carlo here, and he needs a running back that's proved something. I am on the clock for Kevin once again. He's got Chris Carson and Robbie Anderson. I think Kevin can really just go best player available at this stage. I don't think there's a whole lot holding him back from doing that. And I think he's going to believe in the hype, and he's going to get himself some Paris Campbell here, wide receiver for the Colts. Lost T.Y. Hilton in a trade, and he's got his replacement right here. So in the 5th round, Carlos Hyde, Christian Kirk, C.J. Anderson, and Paris Campbell were your 4 picks. Connor, you are on the clock for me.
Oh, boy. Well, Doug, I think you still need running back help with Hunt missing the first half of the season. The problem is who is there for you?
You want me to close the door?
I think you, after almost giving you this guy in the first round of the last mock, I think he's much better suited at this point in the draft. I think you're going to go ahead and take Damian Harris here for some extra value at running back.
Damian Harris for the Patriots. He's definitely going to get some work, I think. He's a good all-around player. Not exactly flashy, but definitely a good player. I'll go for Joe here. He grabbed Kalen Ballage and Christian Kirk. So far in the draft, he still needs help at wide receiver, and I think he's thrilled that N'Keal Harry is still on the board here in the 6th round. So Joe is going to go ahead and grab himself some N'Keal Harry and probably do some smug little dance with his champagne bottle afterwards.
You know, I made a mistake when I took Kirk. It was clearly going to be DK and then Harry. I think.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely would have messed that up.
Joe, you were on the clock for Ray, who I believe is making just his 2nd pick after taking Rashad Penny way back in the 2nd round.
Yeah, and I think our guy needs some tight ends. So I think I see him taking T.J. Hawkinson here.
T.J. Hawkinson. Definitely, I mean, Ray's got no tight ends, and getting the first one drafted in a real NFL draft is a good pick. What do you think, Connor?
Yeah, I like it. I think Fant's better suited for him, but he was taken by AJ. I think that's going to be something. Those are two guys that I think he's going to be really hoping fall to him at the right spots. So I think he'd be very happy with TJ here.
For sure. Speaking of AJ, Connor, you're on the clock for him.
Oh.
Got Peyton Barber and Noah Fant so far.
I think he's feeling really good about Eckler standing at this point with the news of Gordon. So I don't think he's going to be too concerned with running back. Barber kind of filled that gap for him. So he may want to jump in. No, he doesn't need wide receivers either, though. He's got kind of a best available situation here, I think, for him. I think he might just grab Golden Tate here. No, he's not going to do that. He's going to grab. What's he have for tight end?
He's got Noah Fant, Jack Doyle, and Jonnu Smith.
He's doing pretty all right for himself. Let's give him Carlos Hyde here.
Carlos Hyde went in the last round.
Oh, he did.
Wow, way to pull on me.
I'm pulling a Joe. Mike Davis?
Mike Davis, running back for the Bears. Looked pretty good last year, in my opinion, playing over there in Seattle, making my 2nd round pick last year. Rashad Penny irrelevant. But I definitely think Mike Davis can play a little bit. The question is, how much playing time is he going to get? All right. I'm on the clock for Nate, who grabbed Ronald Jones with his 3rd round pick. Nate is pretty solid at wide receiver. You could use another tight end. Use another running back, really. But he also has no quarterbacks on his team, and I think that's going to start to grate on him here a little bit. He had Kirk Cousins, but threw him back. But I don't see a way that he can get around it. Kirk Cousins goes here to Nate. I think that's a perfectly solid pick for him to make. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I mean, Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. He needs some pretty good quarterbacks.
All right. Here in the 6th round, we saw Damian Harris, N'Keal Harry, T.J. Hawkinson, Mike Davis, Kirk Cousins go off the board. Connor, you had a point you wanted to get in?
Yeah, it's an insight from Nate. I saw him a couple days ago, and I don't think it's going to be Kirk Cousins there. I think it's definitely going to be Daniel Jones. He told me he's taking him 4th round or bust, so get ready for that.
My dad said Nusca's pick is trash.
It's
whatever, man. Next
poop
time he can come do it then.
Sure. Joe, why don't you go ahead and make another trash pick for Connor here?
Oh, man.
Right.
My team's going to suck.
So for Connor here, pick number 35, we're going to go with Devin Singletary.
Devin Singletary. And all the Bills fans groan as Connor takes a shot in the dark at a talented rookie
It's honestly it's a good pick, but I hate Singletary. You clearly haven't listened to me on a podcast, but it is a good pick.
If nothing else works out, I mean, I think he's got a lot of potential there to be the number one back. If McCoy gets hurt, which he probably will.
You think he's the next McCoy, like everybody's saying? See, I don't buy that. But
yeah,
I don't know about that. I think he's just Singletary. You know, he's just gonna do his own thing.
Sure. Connor, you're on the clock for the Petersburg Penguins, who have gotten so far Philip Lindsay, Darrell Henderson, Miles Sanders, and Carlos Hyde.
Oh, yeah, he's loaded up on running back. Let's hope he really does that. He has a tendency to drift away from the running back position. But just like the last time we did this, I think he's got to go with a rookie wide receiver just to feel something in this draft. He just loves doing it. And I think he's going to take DK.
Ooh. I actually really like that pick for Tim.
He's slipping. Joe's over here just getting a boner at the fact that he might have possibly gotten him.
Just hearing his name.
DK Metcalf. Definitely a great pick for Tim there in the 7th round. Nate comes up in the 7th round. Still really needing a quarterback, but I think since he just took one, he's not going to go with that back-to-back, and I think he's going to really solidify his tight end position and grab himself some Greg Olsen.
It's a good pick.
Yep.
Whose turn is it? Joe, you were on the clock for Bugby. Lots of picks in the 7th round, this half anyway.
I think I've done all of Bugby's picks so far.
Sorry, Bugby.
Poor guy.
My team sucks. He knows who to blame. Let's see. Here he is. He still definitely needs some wide receivers. I think DK Metcalf would have been a really good pick if he had just held on for one more, but.
And Doug Baldwin will be removed from his board by draft day, so let's just try to keep that in mind.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so let's go. We'll go with Mecole Hardman.
Ooh.
I like it.
One of the fastest players in this year's draft, Mecole Hardman definitely presents a lot of upside on a team that could use it. Connor, you are up for the other Alex.
And
so far, he's gotten Damian Williams, Drew Brees.
I think he needs a bit more help at wide receiver. And they're still on the board, and it's names he knows. You know he's got to go with Larry Fitzgerald here.
Larry Fitz.
A nice pick for him. Larry Fitzgerald, Corey Davis, and Julian Edelman. You can do worse than that. I believe I am on the clock for Pat. Pat, so far to this point, has grabbed David Montgomery, and I think that's it. I think it's been his only pick so far. So he's looking to make a splash here. Doesn't really need a quarterback. He's loaded up at running back. He could use another tight end. So I think this is where, we're kind of in a little bit of a tight end run here. I think this is where we see Chris Herndon come off the board for Pat here in the 7th round.
I like it.
Let's see. Next pick. Lots of keepers. All right, so to recap the 7th round, Devin Singletary, DK Metcalf, Greg Olsen, Mecole Hardman, Larry Fitzgerald, and Chris Herndon. Definitely some good players coming off the board there. Joe, you have the first pick of the 8th round for Steve. To this point, he's grabbed Tyler Boyd and Tom Brady to go along with his championship roster. Could use a tight end.
Yeah, he does. When's his next pick again?
It would be in the 9th round, so almost 2 full rounds.
Okay. I kind of want to. I do want to go with tight end for him, and I want to stay away from that Dolphins offense. I'm gonna go with Ricky Seals-Jones here.
Ricky Seals-Jones. Nice former wide receiver. You got to figure either him or Cameron Brate should have some tight end 2 value in early. David Njoku and Nate comes up on the board with a pick that he got from Carlo. Connor, what's he going to do here?
Again, I think he's still pretty solid at running back. I don't think he has to worry about it. He already took Cousins. He doesn't have another quarterback, though?
He has no other quarterbacks. He's got a ton of receivers, good running back. It's a good team.
See, I want to take another quarterback for him, but I just know he can still take a third. So I guess I'm going to give him Stafford here. I think that'd be a really great draft for him so far. I really like that.
He's got two. I mean, they're not stars, but they're starting quarterbacks. You got to figure between Greg Olsen, Hayden Hurst, and Vance McDonald. He's got tight end figured out. He's got some great running backs. This is a good team.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I am on the clock for Doug Sr. So far, he has grabbed Gus Edwards, and that's it, which he said was trash, and that Joe is trash and should feel bad. I think the old man is sick of not having a young quarterback. I think he's going to see some of these guys going off the board. He's not going to be thrilled with the tight ends that are available, and I think we're going to see Dwayne Haskins come off the board right here in the 8th round. He'll be heavily invested in the Redskins offense, but he needs a young signal caller to go with Cam. The long bushes are up for Joe. To this point, he has grabbed is it Chris Herndon and David Montgomery.
Okay.
Really strong running back so far.
Yeah. Let's go with Paris Campbell.
Paris Campbell went off the board like 3 rounds ago, Joe.
Oh shit.
He does need a receiver though, so that's a good train of thought there.
Okay.
Got some good players on the board: Golden Tate, AJ Brown, Curtis Samuel, Deebo Samuel.
Actually, yeah, let's go with Deebo Samuel.
Deebo Samuel's a very good player in college. And had some opportunity, but there's a lot of receivers there. Connor, what do you think about Deebo Samuel?
I think he's definitely got talent. He's a bit loaded up with a lot of players to worry about in terms of getting playing time. But I do like him. I think if somebody loves him, they're definitely going to be happy taking him there.
Connor, you're on the clock for Hansen once again. So far, he's grabbed Damian Williams, Drew Brees, Corey Davis, and Larry Fitzgerald. Not a bad draft so far.
Not at all.
He's also got Kenyon Drake and Julian Edelman down below the board.
I think he still needs to shore up his running back situation. There's still not a lot there. But I could see him – Frank Gore. I could see him going with Justice Hill here if he was smart.
Justice Hill.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, really crowded backfield. We touched on that a little bit earlier, but the upside is just too good in this offense for him to pass up. Let's see here. Nate comes up, and he just grabbed Stafford earlier in this round, so he's looking for something young because he can throw Stafford back next year after he drafts Daniel Jones later in the draft. So he's looking for a nice rookie to take, and I think he's going to run the card up to take Hollywood Brown right here. And this Nate draft is wild. Let's see. End of the 8th round, we have Ricky Seals-Jones, Matthew Stafford, Dwayne Haskins, Deebo Samuel, Justice Hill, Marquise Brown. I'll go in that round. Joe, go ahead and make a pick for Connor here at the start of the 9th.
Oh, man.
All right.
So far, he's grabbed. He's grabbed Lamar Miller and Devin Singletary, 2 players apparently that he hates.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Was it Marquise Brown that got drafted or AJ Brown?
Marquise Brown.
Marquise Brown. Okay. I think he's been on the board for a little while. I think Golden Tate goes here.
Golden Tate, that would really solidify. Not Auden Tate, Golden Tate. That really would solidify Connor's wide receiver group. Good pick there,
nice,
Connor.
I like it.
That's great value, though. Golden Tate in the 9th round is great value. Connor, you're on the clock for Tim here in the 9th.
So he's addressed his running backs. He started to gamble on another wide receiver.
Got all the tight ends in the world.
What's he got at quarterback?
Just Jimmy Garoppolo down around 18.
All right, so I think he's going to be looking quarterback here. The question is there anybody worth it?
No, not really.
Not really. That could be a problem for him. He takes Daniel Jones just to spite Nate.
Daniel Jones.
Oh, no, I was kidding. But
oh, you're kidding? Okay, they're sorry.
I guess I shouldn't have paused for so long. This is tough. This is a terrible spot for him, I think. Definitely not that great.
Does he take another wide receiver like a Michael Gallup, or does he take another tight end?
Wow, that sucks. How about Nick Foles?
Nick Foles, and he throws up a little bit in his mouth.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, that's rough. Maybe he should have taken a quarterback instead of DK Metcalf.
Yeah, yes, so.
I'm on the clock for Bugby here, who so far has grabbed Royce Freeman and Mecole Hardman. So I think he's feeling pretty okay about his wide receivers. He desperately needs a tight end with the guys that he has there just not, frankly, being particularly good. I think we're going to see an interesting pick of Will Dissly here. He's been getting a little bit of hype out of camp, and just a lot of targets there for him. Will Dissly.
Solid.
I believe it is Joe's turn to pick for Ray. Ray has so far gotten Rashad Penny and TJ Hawkins.
Okay.
TJ Hawkinson is his only tight end.
Yeah, but there's really nothing else to go with. Let's go with, you know what? Let's take a chance on Jason Witten.
Jason Witten, and the old man sighs because he's next on the clock. Connor, what does the old man do here?
Well, Joe has left his team in just such a terrible state. Way to go, Joe.
What are you talking about? It's pretty solid.
I would say he's still pretty solid at wide receiver. He grabbed Haskins. Don't have to worry about what quarterback. Ugh.
Still just got the one tight end.
Is Ian Thomas still available?
Ian Thomas is still available.
How about we go with that for him? No. I mean, because Olsen's going to be fine. Is Gesicki still available?
He is.
All right, we'll go with Gesicki. Give him at least a little bit of a prospect, I guess, for this season.
Nice. Puts me on the clock for Steve here. At the end of the 9th round, grab Ricky Seals-Jones, Tom Brady, and Tyler Boyd so far. And he's just looking for the best available player. I think at this point, having solved the few holes that he had, he does still need some receivers. He's only got the 3. So he's going to try to solidify that position long term by taking a young player, maybe Andy Isabella. But I think it's a little early for him at this point. I think we're going to see Michael Gallup come off the board here. So in the 9th round, Golden Tate, Nick Foles, Will Dissly, Jason Witten, Mike Gesicki, and Michael Gallup. So, Connor, you're going to be up here to pick for somebody eventually. Pat in the 10th round. So far, he's gotten Deebo Samuel and Chris Herndon and David Montgomery.
I think we will see yikes.
We're definitely at shot-taking territory, I think, now that we're in the double-digit rounds.
I think being a big college fan, watching games, and the fact that running back has been something he's kind of had to grab early, I think he's going to go with Darwin Thompson here.
Definitely a lot of upside there if he gets to play in Kansas City.
That dude can squat like 645 pounds.
Facts. Joe, why don't you squat and pick for your brother here?
Okay. Let's see.
Just pop a squat all over his roster. So far he's grabbed Noah Fant, Mike Davis, Peyton Barber.
Peyton Barber. Okay, I mean, he's pretty good at wide receiver. Running back. I think we should up the wide receiver. Let's go with Robert Foster.
Robert Foster played really, really well last season for the Bills towards the end of the year. It's kind of crowded there, Connor. What do you think about Robert Foster here in the 10th round?
Well, it's crowded, and it's an offense that's not exactly the best, but he's proven more than most in that system to succeed on some level. So I think he's definitely a value pick.
And Alex is jumping for joy that Deshaun Jackson is still here in the 10th round. But joke aside, that's a great pick for him. I think here in the at this stage, he's going to have a few great weeks, and he's going to be worth every bit of that 10th round pick. Connor, you're up for Nate.
Back at it for Nate.
This is his last pick for a long time.
So he's gonna take Daniel Jones here. He's gonna lock it up.
Daniel Jones, and he completes his draft for the most part here. Nate is feeling great at this point in the draft.
Almost could have had a fantastic draft if he didn't have to take Daniel Jones.
Yeah, but, I mean, Nate's had 6 or 7 shots at this point. It's done a couple of ill-advised trades with Alex. It's looking great for Nate here. All right, the 10th round concludes. Lots of keepers: Darwin Thompson, Robert Foster, Deshaun Jackson, and Daniel Jones. Joe, you are on the clock for Tim here in the 11th round.
All right. Can you go through what Tim's got so far?
Sure. Tim so far has drafted Phillip Lindsay, Darrell Henderson, Miles Sanders, Carlos Hyde, DK Metcalf, and Nick Foles.
Wow. I mean, aside from Nick Foles, I really like his draft so far.
Still need some running back help, I think. If there is any.
I think I think this guy, if he has the opportunity, I think Jalen Samuels could be a good pick here.
Jalen Samuels. Especially if he ends up getting tight end eligibility. You know how Tim likes those tight ends. Let's see here. I believe it is. Is it my turn, Connor? Yes. Alex comes back up. He's got himself some players. He needs a second tight end to go with George Kittle in a bad way. There isn't really anybody to do it for him. But Ian Thomas is there. Maybe he'll be good for Alex next year. Connor, you're up for Ray here in the 11th round. This is only his only his fourth pick, I guess, for the draft. So he's got Rashad Penny, T.J. Hawkinson, Jason Witten.
Okay.
And I think he's going to go with a tight end here.
Again?
Tight end. I think he's going to go with a running back here. I'm sorry. And I think with the news recently, this could change or have the stock go up or down. But I think this would be a great spot for Justin Jackson to go. Ray loves having running backs in a partnership with somebody else, so right up his alley to grab Jackson, I think.
Definitely a very Ray pick and a very savvy pick, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, you're picking for me here in round 11. So far in the draft, I have grabbed Amari Cooper, Leonard Fournette, and Damian Harris.
Okay.
Probably still need a receiver.
Let's go with.
I have to run out of the room really quick. I'll be back. If I'm not back for my pick, just pick for me. I'll be right back, though.
Sure.
The show. Let's go with Adam Humphries.
Adam Humphries signed a big contract there in Tennessee. Became one of the highest paid slot receivers in the league. Definitely got some PPR upside there. Not a bad pick. I am up for Steve here, and then Joe, you're going to be back up for me again.
Okay.
Steve here comes up at the end of the 11th round. He's grabbed some receivers. Boyd, Robinson, Gallup, and Juju, so he's pretty good there. Doesn't have a ton of depth at running back, so I think he's going to go ahead and try to get some of that. There's not a whole lot left here at running back at this stage of the draft. Not much here. I think this is where we start to see people reach on some of these other rookie running backs. And we know Steve has had Dalvin Cook in the past, knows how fragile he is, and he grabbed Alexander Madison here at the end of the 11th round.
That's literally who I was going to go for your next pick.
Oh, really?
Yep.
End of the 11th round, guys, we had Jalen Samuels, Ian Thomas, Justin Jackson, Adam Humphries, and Alexander Madison. A quick note, there would be one more pick during the draft here when the Bean Bruisers would not have Doug Ball in there, but we'll save that for the next mock. Joe, you were on the clock for the Murder Muppets.
Okay. We'll continue that trend of going for rookie running backs. We'll go with let's go with Armstead to kind of just shore up your team since you got Fournette.
I do have Fournette, Raquel Armstead. Nice rookie running back here. Good handcuff pick this late in the draft, 12th round. And then I guess since you're the next pick, Joe, I'll pick for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back, by the way.
All right, then pick for Joe then. So far, he's grabbed Kalen Ballage, N'Keal Harry, and that's it. Oh, and Christian Kirk, sorry.
How about Bryce Love here? Another rookie. I hear you guys are going on the rookie train here.
Bryce Love.
Just a shot in the dark to see if he can get some more running back help.
Yeah, not a bad move. And it's kind of a guy you could just drop and move on from, and go pick up a kicker or something with that pick. All right, Ray Crobot comes up for, I guess it's my turn. So he grabbed Justin Jackson, which is a pick I really liked with his last one. Got really good starting receivers, but not a ton of depth. So he's going to be looking for a receiver at this point. There's still some good value, in my opinion, on the board at receiver. But the hype train is picking up for Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and I think it's time for him to come off the board. Big, fast receiver who looks like he's going to start for the Packers.
I like it.
Joe, you're up for Hanson.
Let's see.
If you're still watching, go ahead and post in the group chat.
Yeah, post some questions, guys. Some thoughts. You know, let's. I'm surprised. Is Larry Fitzgerald still on the board, isn't he?
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not.
No, he went to this team a few rounds ago.
Oh, he did. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh. What about John Brown?
John Brown, Buffalo wide receiver. Smokey Brown's got some speed. They'll have a few good weeks. I am certain of.
It's a very Alex pick too. I feel like
That's true. Connor, you're up for my brother.
All right. How many? What would you say is his weakest position right now?
Let's see. We'll go to position breakdown. He's got 2 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 5 wide receivers, 4 tight ends, no kicker, no defense, but it's too early to draft a kicker already.
Right. So it's pretty much best available for him here.
Yeah.
And you know he wants.
It is his last pick for a while.
Isabella's gone, right?
Nope.
Oh, Isabella right here for sure. You'd be jumping for joy at that.
Andy Isabella. Definitely a good pick for Jam down here at round 12. So I will pick for Connor here at the end of round 12. He's grabbed, let's see what we got so far. Golden Tate, Devin Singletary, and Lamar Miller. So which running back is Connor going to snake here? He's going to turn out to be a star in a few years. Oh, God, there's nobody. So Connor's not going to be grabbing a running back. Chris Warren. Yikes. Okay.
Don't worry, I'll find one even if you can't, Doug.
Oh, man. Yeah, screw these guys. These guys are trash. So I think you're just going to take a good player, not necessarily a rookie, and Jalen Richard should have been taken a while ago, and that's a great pick for Connor at the end of round 12. In that round, Raquel Armstead, Bryce Love, Marquez Valdez Scantling, John Brown, Andy Isabella, and Jalen Richard. All right, we're on the home stretch here, fellas. Round 13. Joe, you are up for the Bean Bruisers. Once again.
All right. Who's he got for tight ends right now?
Tight ends, he's got Austin Safarian Jenkins, Will Dissly, and Adam Shaheen. Would not be a bad idea to grab one.
Let's go with Jesse James.
Jesse James, the road dog.
Is that what they call him?
Yeah, that's new to me.
Are you guys serious?
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, there was the wrestler. It was the road dog Jesse James and badass Billy Gunn. They were the New Age Outlaws. Are you serious right now?
I know just like, history lessons of Jesse James, but not wrestlers. Sorry, Doug.
Wow. The fact that you don't know the road dog, it's crazy. They're part of D-Generation X. Come on.
Is that a distant cousin to Double Dog Hitman?
Yes, it is. The D-O double G. Oh, geez. I believe it is Connor's turn to pick for Hanson.
All right. And with Hanson, what's an old guy here?
Frank Gore's on the board, bro.
Frank Gore is still on the board. And I think he's going to be really, really confused at this point. How about it? Let's do it. Frank Gore.
I think he's going to be really confused. Or he's going to be hovering over your draft dominator app. I am up for AJ here, who grabbed Robert Foster with his last pick. He's pretty good at receiver. Tight end, there's not really anything that's going to improve his roster, so I think he's going to take a rookie running back, Benny Snell from the Pittsburgh Steelers, try to get a little taste of that backfield. Pat, the long bushes for Connor. Or sorry, for Joe.
All right. Let's see. Let's go with it's kind of tough. Let's go with Riley Ridley.
Riley Ridley. All right, what are your thoughts on Riley Ridley?
I think it's somebody that if Pat liked him in college could definitely be something he'd grab. It's a very Pat move. I like it.
Great route runner. Not the best athlete in the NFL, but definitely a great route runner and younger brother to Falcons star wide receiver Calvin Ridley. Let's see. Connor, you are up for Ray here. We went with Marquez Valdez-Scantling last pick.
And Ray, he's got 2 quarterbacks, right?
He's got Russell Wilson and Ben Roethlisberger, yeah.
Yeah. So I think. Wow, it's getting thin.
It is getting thin.
I think wide receiver is still probably the place to go with what's left. And I could see he likes to be savvy. So I think I could see him going with someone like Albert Wilson here.
Albert Wilson.
Somebody who's a star for fantasy more so than in real life. I think you could see the value there.
Yeah, Albert Wilson is a very athletic player. Only has like 89 speed in Madden, which I think is terrible. He's at least like a 92 in my opinion. But, Joe comes up to the board, looking around, not really sure what to do, but he's gonna have to get himself a nice rookie wide receiver, I think. But which one? He's going to be hanging out with his brother for a few days before the draft. I think we're going to see J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, for a guy to be good maybe in the future because he plays the same position as Alshon Jeffrey, and he is not better than Alshon Jeffrey. So, Doug Sr. is a little annoyed because he owns Alshon Jeffrey, but Joe, what's he going to do?
For real, then, what is he going to do? It's kind of getting tougher. Who's he got for quarterback so far?
He's got Dwayne Haskins and Cam Newton.
Oh, he did get Dwayne Haskins. Okay.
Thirteenth round.
This gets really hard. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not that serious, Joe. Just take someone.
Okay. Let's give him Nelson Aguilar.
Nelson Aguilar gets another Eagles wide receiver, and I think that's really good value. Connor, what do you think about Nelson Aguilar all the way in the 13th round?
Yeah, the 13th round, that could be some sort of value. He's definitely a little outed in Philadelphia, but there's a chance that he could play somewhere else later. And if he even with Philadelphia, he has a bit of a niche situation where I think he could put up some PPR value.
Carlo's going to come up here and is going to have Connor pick for him.
Oh, boy, Carlo. And I think Carlo will go with
needs to go to the running back.
He does. The problem is, who? You know what? I think it's late. He's going to go with somebody that's had potential in the past, but with an injury, may not be able to showcase it this year, but kind of a future grab. And I'm not seeing his name now.
What's the name?
Spencer Ware?
From Cincinnati, the rookie from Oklahoma. but I can't think of his name.
Well, they took 2 Williams. I'm not sure which one went to Oklahoma, to be honest with you.
Anderson?
Travion Williams?
Not Travion, the other one. Anderson, I think Joe's right.
Rodney Anderson.
Rodney Anderson.
Rodney
right.
Anderson, there we go.
Come on, Connor.
Rodney Anderson. Definitely a pick born out of desperation for young running backs since they've pretty much all gone at this point. Kevin Hemian's going to come up with a smug fucking look on his face and just mock us for the fact that none of us have taken A.J. Brown yet.
He's still on the board?
I believe so.
He can reap the benefit whenever he gets out of Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think
Or until they get a new quarterback. A.J. Brown in the 13th round. That's good value, but I don't know when he's going to get out of that prison. Joe, you're picking for me.
Okay. Round 13.
So far, I've taken Leonard Fournette, Amari Cooper, Damian Harris, Adam Humphries, and Raquel Armstead.
Let's go with Drew Lock.
Drew Lock. Connor, what do you think of that pick?
I like it. A nice depth at running back, a future pick could work out really well.
Drew Lock plays quarterback, though.
Did you say running back?
Oh, I meant quarterback. I don't know why I said right there.
All right, I'm going to pick back-to-back for Steve here, so we keeps us on track. Man, Steve's team is in a really good spot this season. I definitely think he could use a little bit more depth at wide receiver. I think we could see Hakeem Butler as a nice future pick here in the 13th round.
I like it.
Jesse James, Frank Gore, Benny Snell, Riley Ridley, Albert Wilson, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Nelson Aguilar, Rodney Anderson, A.J. Brown, Drew Lock, and Hakeem Butler. Lots of picks in that round. And I'll go ahead and start Steve off here in the 14th. If you're still watching, thanks for sticking around, fellas. Man, who's left on the Bears? I think we could see, and again, this would be flipped, but I think we could see Taylor Gabriel come off the board here. Let's get a nice Bears player in there for Steve. Connor, you're up for me.
Oh, boy, Dougie. How many tight ends do you have?
I have 2. O.J. Howard and Hunter Henry. That's right, folks. I have good tight ends for once.
Oh, boy.
This guy.
Is Jamison Crowder still available?
He is.
I could see you going with that. Just a little extra play on wide receiver. Thin everywhere else. Might as well grab somebody of value.
Jamison Crowder. Joe, you are now on the clock for the old man in round 14.
Okay.
He's going to be looking to clean up with some rookies, I think, this late in the draft. He's got all these picks open. I think he's going to take rookies with just about all of them, or second-year players.
Let's go with Justin Watson.
Watson. What are you thinking with Justin Watson?
What did I say?
What's your thinking with Justin Watson?
I don't know. He's just a rookie wide receiver.
He sure is. A lot of targets vacated in Tampa. If the old man likes him, I could see him snagging him. It is my turn to pick for Joe, and I wonder what random-ass wide receiver I'll pick for him.
Damn it, Watson's gone.
Joe is going to take a shot here and grab Josh Rosen. It's another young quarterback. It's late, and if it works out, it's a really nice keeper for him. Connor, you're on the clock for Ray.
Oh, I get Ray again. All right.
So we're at the hour 20-minute mark. It might be time to make this
Yeah,
last
I was
round.
about to say, I was going to propose maybe we do a wrap-up of this round, and then we just do players still available on that point who we think is the best value, or a player we see that we are like, man, he should be drafted by now.
Sure. Sounds good. Go ahead and pick for Ray, and then Joe, you're picking for Pat, and then I'll finish it off with picking for Connor.
And for Ray, been hearing a lot of really good reports about Dante Moncrief. He has Big Ben. I think that'd be a nice pair up.
And this late, not a whole lot of downside. Joe, what does Pat do down here around 14?
Let's give him Miles Gaskin.
Miles Gaskin. Joe's just fucking swinging wild.
I didn't think we were going to go this many rounds, honestly.
You should have been prepared to go all the way.
As Steve stated in the league page, Joe's out here drafting like he's taking the SATs.
Damn straight.
Oh, man. Connor comes up at the 14th, final pick of the 14th round, and he is just looking for value, and there's not a ton of it left. He could use a nice young tight end, and I think we're going to see him take a random-ass player like Nick Vanette here. All right. Position breakdowns. Combo board. All right, Connor. Who are some of the better players that are left available? Curtis Samuel, for one, should not be on the board.
That's one. Who else, though? I think for there's still a couple quality rookie tight ends that are interesting. Sternberger could be something. I've heard a lot of really good reports for the Raiders tight end, Waring.
Haley Waring, I think, got drafted by the Texans.
Oh, he did get drafted. Okay, so well then.
No, he plays for the Texans, though, not the Raiders. You're thinking of Darren Waller.
Waller, there we go, Waller.
Who's also not a rookie, but go on.
Doing great out here.
Yeah.
I think Mike Weber is somebody to watch for Dallas. Big Dallas fan. I think it'd have to involve an injury, but I think out of those two guys, he'd be the guy to get the load of carries, assuming there was an injury. There's really not much.
Few names: Randall Cobb, I guess, has looked really good in camp. Marquise Goodwin, Jakeem Grant, another really fast guy. But you guys have been in this league for years. It gets tough towards the end of these drafts to get names of people who don't suck. Joe, anyone you wanted to touch on that's still available? You can't believe it, or are you out of here?
I don't think I know anybody left.
Joe's brain's just mush right now.
Mohamed Sanu. What? How is Mohamed Sanu still there?
Mohamed Sanu. Mohamed Sanu, guys, by the way, is not someone you draft. Mohamed Sanu is someone you pick up in like week 4 to get you through some bye weeks, and he catches 6 passes for 48 yards, maybe catches a touchdown, you're thrilled with it. And then you drop him the next week. That's who Mohamed Sanu is. Maybe he'll freaking throw a touchdown for you. All right,
I think Will Greer should be somebody should grab late too as well in the draft.
18th round though.
Yeah.
Unless you don't have an 18th, take him in the 17th. But super late. Not a guy you need to be drafting until the very end of the draft. Guys, thanks so much for joining us for the podcast today. The draft is approaching, just 6 weeks away, something like that. And we'll be sure to see you there. Anything you guys want to add before we sign off?
Doug's had way too much Nusca. He's like, get me out of here.
That's right.
Time to
way
go.
too much Nusca.
It's not a bad thing.
All right, you guys. Thanks so much for joining us today. And until next time, konnichiwa, bitches.
Bye.
So wait, does that mean we're just not going?